What's up, bitches?
What? What?
You're listening to Just a Bit Gaming.
That's a way to intro the show.
Thanks for tuning in.
Are you calling me a bitch or everybody else a bitch?
If you feel like I'm calling you a bitch, it's because you're hiding something, and you're probably a bitch for it.
For the record, I don't think anybody's a bitch. Thanks for listening.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Just a Bit Gaming, where we talk about some video games and some pop culture.
Yep.
Usually some craft beer.
Yeah.
Provided I don't leave it at my house before I come over here. Believe me, it was going to be a good one, too.
The hesitation since we have a lack of beer today.
We thought about re-reviewing an old beer. Are those that you have cold?
No.
Oh, never mind.
They wouldn't be good.
We're not reviewing a beer tonight. We're reviewing Adrian's Fortnite water.
Yes. Great stuff.
And thanks for tuning in. And we got all this information, and we want to put it, just stuff it inside you.
You had to take it there, man. You had to.
You got a good looking ear hole. That's what we're here for. So hey, what's new?
Man,
welcome to your house.
Welcome to my house. Yeah. What's new? I have a few games I've been playing. I just kind of want to say something about them.
Yeah.
First
if you had to say one word to sum up all the things you want to say about your new games.
RPG.
Okay.
Does that? I know it's like technically
I'll let
3
you,
words.
I'll let you have that one.
Okay.
It's an abbreviation.
How about story?
Okay. All right. I thought you were gonna leave it at how about? Still not a word, but I'll take it.
Well, I would, but I'm actually enjoying these games.
Yeah.
And there are a few games that I found on sale, with the exception of one. E's Memories of Celceta?
Show me the word.
Right there. It's that one that's got that red dots on her.
Huh.
Even my spell check is saying, what the hell word is that?
I looked as though I would know how to say it.
I'm saying Celceta. Celceta. But the thing is, it's a really...
One
thing I noticed about playing this game, they have a lot of weird, like, names that are plays off of other real life things.
Like Calcutta?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, actually. Like there's the Roman Empire. How is Roman spelled?
Yeah. I've seen that dinosaur before. He's awesome. He's still terrifying. Owen is terrible he's terrible at bringing down the hammer.
You're not supposed to go.
You're not supposed to do that. All right, bud. Let's take your dinosaur out here, okay? Okay. So, the Roman Empire.
The Roman Empire. How do you think Roman is spelled?
In the game?
Yeah.
It's either, is it roaming? Like R-O-A-M?
Roman. It's just Roman. How do you think they spell it?
R-O-M-I-G-N.
Very close. It's, well, kind of. It's R-O-M-U-N.
Roman.
And they do that with other, like, empires and people's names. Like, there's a guy who's...
Is it like spelling Sean S-E-A-n?
Yeah,
bullshit.
They'll misspell it, but still pronounce it the same way.
So it's got to be Calcutta. Calcutta.
Yeah.
It's got to be.
Well, they also have characters where they'll have like real names, but they'll alter like the first letter to make it something else. So say like one of the characters, and I can't remember his name, he's introduced early on. It's a very common name, and they just replace the first letter to make it sound like a ridiculously stupid name.
Like naming a character Charlie, but spelling it with a D-J instead of a C-H.
DeJarly?
No, it'd be like
Charlie. Not, yeah, I mean, or...
If I ever have another boy, that's what I'm going to name him.
DeJarly? Or Jarly?
Jarly.
Man, I hate that they put D's in front of the J's. This always throws me off.
Charlie. But everyone will just call him Charlie. And for short, he'll just be Charles. Jokey.
So say like Mario was in the game, they would call him Cario. Put a C in front of it or something. Just really generic and stupid.
Like Jario.
Yeah. So Besides that, though, the game is pretty damn fun so far. I'm only briefly started playing it, but it's a long running series, RPG series. The E series has been around for, man, probably close to 30 years by now. It was brought back on the PS4 last year, and I wanted to play it then, but I never did. I was waiting for a price drop on it, and the game never had a price drop, which is really weird. Then they announced that they were going to release it on the Switch, and I was like, I'll just hold off for the Switch version. That game seems more fitting. It's an anime style of game, and it just seems more fitting for me to be able to play it in bed. There's no huge graphical power that I need to see about it, you know? Also, I tend to have better luck playing RPGs on portable systems anyway.
Right.
So I picked it up, and sure enough, I'm having a blast with it. It's a good action RPG. You just kind of roam this island, fighting monsters and collecting stuff. And you're building this community on this island, and you're using the resources that you gather to build this community. And it's a fun game. I mean,
are like the resources weird? Like instead of wood, is it like bud?
No, I haven't noticed any
which
differences.
Would actually be food, which is weirdly meta.
No, it's that's the only thing I noticed is kind of weird about it. But yeah, I mean, you use the resources to upgrade your armor, upgrade your or make potions and stuff like that, and build on to your community. You're going out and you're rescuing people too. So the short of the story is you were on a ship. The ship was attacked. Everybody was marooned on this island, but they were all separated.
Right.
So you're trying to gather everybody and build this island community and try to figure out a way to get off of the island.
Yeah. So like whenever you have to like collect your resources, is it like you do have to collect like building materials?
Yeah.
And then like, do you build your own armor, or is it like kind of like God of War where you can just find upgrades to what you've got? Or
you find people who are skilled in certain aspects, like a doctor,
like classic RPG style.
Yeah. And so when you rescue that particular person, then it opens up, like the doctor. Now I can get potions.
Is he called a doctor?
He is called, well, Doctor something, but yeah, he is.
But he's a doctor?
Yeah.
I can't get past the weird naming thing. I wonder whose job
started it off with that.
I wonder whose job that was.
To name them?
Like in the studio, the gaming studio, and they were like, hey, Dan, come here. Hey, Charlie, come here. And they take him to the office, and they're like, what would you name this guy? I'm thinking he kind of looks like a Carlos. And he's like, no. He's definitely a Narlos.
Yep.
Hey, what would you call this town? It's kind of like, it's kind of similar to like Florence, Italy. And he's like, no, definitely not Florence. It's more like a Blorence.
Florence.
Or just Lawrence.
That's as simple as
Florence.
it is. Yeah.
Florence with a P. You know who would be great at naming some shit like that is Fat Big.
Honestly, I was thinking the same thing.
He doesn't know soap's called soap. That shit's called Bubble Rub.
Honestly.
And milk is cow coke.
He could do this.
Boxing gloves are wrestle punchers.
Like, it makes me wonder why they even did that. Like,
studios need to start calling kids to do shit like that.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, but I mean, why do it in the first place? Why even call it the Roman Empire and just change the letter? Why not just call it something completely different?
I really don't know.
Maybe because their naming scheme, it was already garbage to begin with and they knew it. So
we should send them a getter.
Please rename every character with unique, stupid names.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
I'll get some flaper and a 10, and we will send them a bland fit and getter. In the pail. The pail fan will take it.
You lost me a long time ago.
Oh, I'll get some paper and a pen, and we'll make them a handwritten letter and put it in the mail, and the mailman will take it, and then I kind of tapered off.
Yeah. Oh, well, impressive nonetheless.
They should pay me.
Well, you would have to contact the localization team and get on board that way.
Ah, fuck that.
It's a lot of work. Sorry.
Yeah, it's a lot of work I don't want to do. I've already done too much for them. Got the short end.
You've done a better job than they had. But it doesn't speak for the game itself. It's still a good game, and I recommend it to anybody who's interested in.
It's just a little on the silly side.
A little bit. I have a feeling it's going to get more serious as I progress.
Right.
But I mean, how serious can it get? I mean, this very anime-ish looking characters. So, but on top of that, I've also been playing a 3DS game. I just barely started it, and these games I got them all real cheap, and that's why I kind of built them up for my backlog that will never end. The Alliance Alive is another RPG on the 3DS that I heard good things about, and so far I started it, and I really love that game so far.
Yeah,
it's traditional RPG in every sense of the word. I mean, traditional battle system, traditional story. It's all most of it is voice acted, which is great. The art design is really incredible. The towns and stuff that you explore have this kind of colored pencil and watercolor look about it.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's a very stylized game, and I like it. I appreciate it for that. I'm not a big fan of the character designs. They have this kind of chibi like.
I've never been into that either.
I'm not big into that, and it's weird. And they don't have any feet. They just walk all around on little pointed stubs, and they have really big heads with big eyes and all that stuff, and just pretty much a chibi look.
Like they might have been designed by a girl with an Invader Zim bag.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And it made no sense to me. It's like they spent all this they made this really, really cool like backdrops and towns and stuff. It's like, couldn't they have done used some of that creativity with the character designs as well?
Threw on some middle schooler's nightmare.
Yeah.
Someone's art project was the character design. They
Yeah.
went to their 14-year-old cousin and they were like, "Hey, you're weird as fuck. Can you make me some characters?" And she's like, "I'm the Princess of Darkness."
Exactly, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Does a demon shit in your mouth? Yeah, I'll do it.
you speak from experience.
Dude, those are the type of girls I dated in middle school. Like, those are the type of girls that you're like, "Hey, I like your Gur messenger bag from Invader Zim." And she's like, "You know what that show is?" Because, of course, nobody knows the pop culture reference of like a massively popular television show.
Yeah.
And then suddenly I had a girlfriend. That happens several times.
Nice.
Like the type of girl that wears like 27 bracelets and still finds room to draw on herself. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Those were the days.
Those
huh?
like, they were like big fluffy ass keychains with no keys attached. You see this girl in your head, right?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
do. Yeah. That I've known many like that, but
Swears that by the time she's a mother, her kids will be named Tim Burton and Jack Skellington.
it's weird because I didn't have a whole lot of. There weren't a lot of women or girls, I guess, at that time at my school that were like that. I think that's more of a more modern thing.
I think that scene kind of really found its stride a few years behind where you were, which would be where I was.
Yeah. Well, when it became accepted to
be
a
weird.
nerd,
Yeah.
to be into this stuff. Like
Yeah.
when I was in school, it was completely unaccessible or unaccepted. Playing
Yeah.
video games, if you play video games, don't tell anybody because you will get made fun of.
You
for
are
what
you are a nerd.
Yeah, you are straight up a nerd. And
Yeah.
when you did find somebody who, and I'm talking about middle school, grade school, it was okay.
Well, and the video game stigma was still a thing when I started school. Because in first grade, I got a backpack.
Yeah.
It was a giant Game Boy.
Oh,
and
cool.
It had like a glittery screen on it.
Uh-huh.
Like
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, with the green screen.
Yeah, like,
kind of like,
and then you turn it and it's got like little flecks that glitter,
Yeah.
and it had Tetris printed on it,
Nice.
like a level of Tetris.
that's really cool, actually.
And
I've never seen those.
yeah, man, I wish I still had that. I literally used that backpack until it was just pieces of a backpack
Oh yeah,
left. You know?
that's cool.
Yeah. So, but I got made fun of because, I mean, I carried that and I carried my Game Boy and I talked about video games, and I mean, that only lasted early in my school career until everybody
is
else turned
weird.
around and was like, "Dude, actually, video games are fucking neat."
So it was the opposite for me. When I was in grade school, we played video games, and it was cool to play video games. And you would go over to your friend's house.
Well, it
and
was
play
older
video
kids
games.
that would pick on me for it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I point as though there's older, taller kids standing behind me. Who invited them? It was older kids that would make fun of me for it. Kids my age, I mean, it was like first and second grade that I
Yeah.
carried the thing. So it's like kids my age didn't give a shit.
Well,
It was older
didn't.
kids.
It didn't hit me until middle school. When you hit middle school, for some reason, the kids they get super freaking mean. And I think we talked about this before.
It's because they're stinky and don't know what to do about it.
Yeah,
they don't know.
They're going through all these changes and smells.
That's exactly it.
And so they instead of
I woke up smelling like stir fry today. Someone's getting their ass beat.
they don't want the attention on themselves,
right?
So they're gonna push it on somebody else.
What is that called? Deflecting.
Deflecting. Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Or so, is that deflecting or project? No, projecting is when you're into video games and make fun of someone for being into video games.
What is that called? Projecting?
That's projecting.
Okay.
Like if I'm insecure about the size of my kneecaps and I'm like, oh, fuck you, Adrian. Look at your dinky little kneecaps. And he'd be like, I think you're projecting.
Okay, yeah.
But if I like had like a zit on my face and you're like, what happened to your face? I'm like, fuck you and your kneecaps, dude. That's deflecting.
I got you.
Yeah.
Well then.
Also, sorry I brought attention to your kneecaps. They're beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. They're like the crest of a great white mountain.
My daughter dislocated her kneecap last week, actually.
Oh, car wine.
Like completely like it was sitting on the side of her leg.
What kind of noise did she make when that happened?
Oh, it was a very high-pitched squeal, scream, scared, like she didn't know what to do. It was weird.
Did it kind of sound like a mariachi band announcing themselves?
Yeah.
All right.
Owen, get off of me. Owen, get off of me. Because Owen was still trying to climb on her with her kneecap sitting on the side of her knee.
Oh, shit. Man, that sounds painful.
It was. But what I was going to say is,
sorry,
in junior highs, when it started becoming a thing where people would make fun of you for playing video games, and you wouldn't tell anybody, and you would kind of look around and judge for yourself who was accepting of it and who wasn't. And from there, you would secretly talk about these things and what you're into, and live it out that way. You live it out your obsession that way. But later on, I'd say probably mid 2000s is about the time when I think it started becoming more accepted. Yeah. So yeah, I missed out on that. And hence I missed out on that kind of subculture of boys and girls, I guess, who were into that thing and didn't really care what people thought, because people didn't make fun of them for it. One
of the first girls I ever dated was one of those, like, her give a damn was busted. And she knew that I like wrote songs and I wrote comic books and stuff like that. And one day she gave me this piece of paper that just had notes scribbled all over it. And I was like, what is this? And she's like, phrases I've come up with for you to try. And it was shit like she was whiter than the milk of death.
We still had goth. That sounds very goth.
Feeling so close, but I just can't touch. And that ended up being the intro line to a song that I wrote at the time. Yeah, she was a weirdo, dude.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Well, Alliance Alive is cool. If you're into old school RPGs, give that one a shot. I also picked up Fire Emblem Warriors on the Switch, which is amazing. If you like Dynasty Warriors style games, it's a really great one of those.
I want to play that one so bad.
It's fun. It's. I don't feel
it may
like
come
you
as
even
a surprise to you, but I want to play that one.
It is. If you played Fire Emblem, you don't. I don't feel like you need to know.
Played the hell out of some Dynasty Warriors. And I know that it's comparable gameplay.
I think you should play the Hyrule Warriors instead.
Ooh,
Hyrule
because
Warriors.
Link, I like him.
Yeah, they have a lot of Zelda characters in the game, and you fight as them and stuff. But
that's cool.
It's both games are made by the same developer, and they're very stylish and a heck of a lot of fun to play. But other than that, I've been playing Fortnite, and I got my first Victory Royale today.
Hell yeah, you did, man.
Man, that was exciting. I posted it up on Instagram.
What's even more impressive about your Victory Royale is that I called while you were playing.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to have this conversation with Adrian, and he's like, yeah. Oh yeah, And I'm like, man, this douchebag.
I apologized.
I'm laying bare my soul, and really all I was talking about was what time I was going to come over.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey man, sorry, I'm playing Fortnite and there's only 14 people left. I was like, oh man, I distracted him. He's going to die. And then we get off the phone, and like 3 minutes later, he sends me a screenshot of his Victory Royale.
Dude, it was awesome. I was playing on the Switch, first of all. This is the only way to play this game for me.
It is way better on the Switch.
To me, I was sitting here in the bedroom on my bed, playing Fortnite, having a hell of a time. Got down to the final 4, and the circle was, I think, like almost as close as it's going to be. And there was 2 guys on opposite ends of the circle building these huge forts. I guess hoping that the circle would end up where they are, but it didn't. So I I killed one guy. He dropped a bunch of good stuff, and he had a Gatling gun, and it was a rare Gatling gun, and it had like 700 bullets in it.
Yeah.
So the thing is with Gatling guns in that game is they will fire infinitely. You don't have to reload them. So
They'll just fire till they're done.
yes. So I'm
That's
sitting
so
there
cool.
holding the trigger while this guy is building his fort, or he's up at the top, and he won't come down. So it's like, all right, screw you. I'll go try to take this other guy. Well, I snuck around a rock, and then it came back, and he come back down to the ground level and started building back up because he saw me, I guess. So I was using a Gatling gun, and I was destroying his structure as quickly as he was building it. So he would throw up some walls and stuff, and I'd shoot and hit him a few times. And, you know, he kept trying to move around, and the barrage of bullets left him kind of defenseless. He couldn't really build back or shoot back at me. So I eventually overtook him and killed him and grabbed his stuff, grabbed some, there's some juice. I can't remember what they call the juice that gives you like armor.
Pimp juice.
Pimp juice.
I made that up. Well, I didn't make up the phrase pimp juice, but it's a lie as far as
chug. It's like chug juice.
Chug.
Chug jug or something like that.
That sounds about right.
So I drank the chug jug, got my armor up.
Yeah, you did.
And got into a little battle with another dude. He took all my armor away and got me down to about half health, but I killed him. And then there was the other guy who was in the other fort. And the circle had gotten to as small as it's going to get. So I'm sitting in this little ditch that's just on the outside of that circle, while he's not too far, but a little ways away from that circle in his fort. He knows he's going to have to get down there and get to that circle. So I waited out. I'm closer than he is. It's easier for me to step in there if I need to.
Exactly.
So I waited for him.
Which is a really good strategy in that game.
Yeah, you kind of...
Because in that moment of like excitement and nerves, whenever he's in his fort going, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, the circle. Okay, I got to get back to the circle. It's like tunnel vision. He's not going to pay attention to you being just over here in this ditch when he's hoofing it to get inside the play zone.
Exactly, right.
Yeah.
So... I kind of use that to my advantage. The other thing is having a ditch right there next to the circle like that was a huge advantage for me.
Oh,
he couldn't get to me. There was only like really one way for him to get to me. So I popped my head up out of the ditch to see where he was, and he started making his way over there. So I came up, started shooting my Gatling gun. He started trying to build stairs and walls and shit. I was tearing him down. Same situation, tearing him down just as quickly as he built them, and took him out and got my victory royale, man. And I
you did.
Freaking jumped up in excitement. I was so happy about that.
Yeah.
Because I played 2 games previous to that and got killed immediately, like by the first person I came in contact with. So to go from that to winning was huge, especially on the Switch. Because on the Switch you're playing against Xbox and PC people, so it's not just you're not just limited to Switch people.
No, I know.
So that was also kind of encouraging to me. So
I think it'd be kind of neat. Like, I know everybody's all wound up about Sony not wanting to get on the crossplay bandwagon, but I think it'd be neat, at least on the Switch, if there was a toggle where you could shut the stream off and only play with Switch people.
You know, I thought the same thing, but after today, it wasn't.
So you don't feel inhibited by it anymore?
I don't feel like I was. No,
that's cool.
I felt like I was doing pretty well, and maybe I wasn't at an advantage because I don't know how to build quickly. You know, I can use more traditional.
And you were more concentrated on just your traditional gameplay.
Yeah,
and maybe that's true. And I know it flies in the face of all of this crossplay stuff that everyone's going on about right now, but that thought has crossed my mind. Like, especially whenever it first dropped. I was like, I'd kind of like to be able to just shut that off and just play with the people that just now started on Switch and see if maybe I can kind of keep pace with this crop of players. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see.
Because whenever it first dropped on the PlayStation and I was playing it every night, I was doing really well all the time. I mean, I never got a victory royale, but
the whole idea of crossplay.
I'm still consistently winning on PUBG Mobile though.
PUBG Mobile. I haven't played that actually since that one time that Amy and I won, and I haven't touched it since.
Yeah.
If PUBG was on Switch, I would be more apt to play it.
It'd be fun on Switch.
Yeah. I love having the controls. I don't want touchscreen controls. But the cross-play stuff is really, really cool to me.
It is, and it's
like
Do we want to get into this right now?
yeah, I think so. This is a good place for it. I was playing that, and actually, I'm totally after that victory royale. I'm like, Fortnite. I'm all about it now.
You just needed the affirmation. Is all you needed.
I needed to get further than just getting killed immediately. You know,
you just needed someone to compliment your kneecaps. That's all you needed.
Exactly, and it really hit off with me, and I'm having a blast with it. So I went on my Xbox to download it, and I'm gonna try to see if I can create a different account on the Xbox for Amy or one of the kids to play, so we can play together. So yeah, I thought that might be really fun to do.
That being said, I'm in the market for an Xbox One now.
Well, just for what? Any game in particular? No,
just two, maybe even for Fallout. Whenever it comes out, I don't want to be limited to just PlayStation players.
Well, I hear you. So,
which is crazy because you know my kind of PlayStation fanboy nature.
Yeah.
And their refusal to kind of join the bigger picture.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. They think it's a sound business decision, which, whatever.
Yeah.
The point is, they're being hard-headed about something that could, if they would jump on board and create this matrix of all of the platforms being interconnected, will change the future of gaming.
It's something that has been talked about and thrown around and needed for a very long time. And the fact that it's actually starting to happen blows me away, and I'm super pumped about it.
And they're just dragging.
I see how they can be hesitant about it, though.
I mean, I could see how they can be because it's their propriety. You know, it's their brand.
Right.
I get that. I really do. And the thing is, they've got the market lead as far as platform gaming goes right now. They are,
and I think that's where the problem lies. Because if you remember, back in the Xbox 360, PS3 days, PlayStation was really pushing the crossplay. They were the ones who were wanting to play it, but they were also on the losing end of the stick. Well, now the tables have turned, and Xbox is on the losing end of this of the line, and they are the ones who are embracing this crossplay.
It's because they know that crossplay is the lifeboat to their potentially sinking ship.
Right, and PlayStation feels like they're already at the top. They don't need to do this,
and they're not seeing the impermanence of being at the top.
Right,
is the point. And
but the thing is, people will still, if they have crossplay, people will still choose their platform of choice based on the exclusives. And I'm sorry, PlayStation 3 is knocking it out of the park with their exclusives right now.
They are, and I'm not saying I want to leave my PlayStation camp. I will always choose PlayStation for that reason, for their exclusives.
Right.
I'll always choose them first. I know that. Even though since I've had a Switch, Nintendo is making such a strong resurgence in my life.
Yeah.
It's verging on ridiculous. But for games like the new Fallout 76 coming out.
Yeah.
If the new Elder Scrolls ends up having some sort of online play. Think games like that, games like Fortnite.
Both of those games are talking about cross-platform multiplayer. Is that correct?
Yes. And Todd Howard of Bethesda was talking about how they would love to go ahead and have like Fallout 76, have it be completely cross-platform.
Oh yeah,
because everybody else is on board, but Sony isn't really cooperating.
No,
which it just bugs me. Maybe not even make your whole universe cross-compatible, but a game like Fallout 76, why not open that floodgate? Because it's been proven, it's been leaked at this point, or whatever the information's been given, that Sony does have the pieces in place to be cross-platform. They just have to flip the switch and basically upload the protocol for it. It happened for a day on the Fallout server or Fortnite servers.
Oh, really? I didn't know. And then
someone caught it. There was a toggle.
Wow.
And someone caught it, and Sony shut it down.
Well, the thing is,
said it was a bug or something like that.
Yeah, they're gonna make up an excuse,
almost like an internet radio show.
I want to read this quote from Sean Layden. He's like the PlayStation of America president or CEO.
Okay.
We're hearing it, he said. We're looking into a lot of possibilities. You can imagine that the circumstances around that affect a lot more than just one game. I'm confident we will get to a solution which will be understood and accepted by our gaming community. While at at the same time supporting our business. That last sentence to me says a lot in terms of his. It's like the safe way of saying, no, we're not doing it.
Right.
We're not doing it. Sorry, guys.
Well, it's like yesterday when Malone said, "Hey, can I get a tattoo?" I said, "Do you want a real tattoo or a fake tattoo? Like a stick-on tattoo?" And he said, "Like daddy's tattoos forever." And I was like, "When you're older?" And he said, "No, like today. Can we go get a tattoo?" And I said, "No."
You should tell him about how much it hurts. That will completely change his mind.
Well, and he said, "Why can't I get a tattoo?" And I said, "Because you're little and it hurts a lot. And what we need to do is just get you some press-on tattoos, some sticky ones, and we'll decorate you up." And he said, "Can we go to the store right now and do that?" I was like, "No." And he said, "Can we go to the store later and do that?" And I said, "Here's what we'll do. It's not right now, but after you've had some food and some sleep and played a bit, then we can talk about doing that next time we're at the store if you think about it." I gave him nothing to go on. So
I essentially told him no in the most descriptive manner.
Exactly.
Or, yeah.
Exactly. So that's what this Joker's doing.
He's saying, look, right here, I'm confident we'll get to a solution which will be understood and accepted by our gaming community. That means
that's saying, listen, we're not going to do it. We're not going to do it, and you're going to keep consuming from our buffet.
Yeah.
You're going to keep loading up your plate whether we do it or not. So thanks for playing. That's what that means.
You're going to accept what we do because it's final, and that's what we say. We're the parents here.
They're going to go, who makes the rules? Do you make the rules? No, I make the rules. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Good. Now go to your room. Exactly. Where we will retreat to our room and we'll fucking turn on our PlayStation 5 and with tears on our eyes keep taking our self-administered punishments. Who makes the rules?
What do you think is their biggest reason for not wanting to do this?
Strictly market lead.
You think it's to keep themselves on top?
I do. Because for the fact that they're in their market lead and they have millions of people exclusively playing like Fortnite on their Sony PlayStation servers.
Man.
Like
I've got a story about that too.
The fact that they have their own dedicated players and their own dedicated audience just basically means like if they open that up and integrate it to play against those challengers, anybody from any other platform can play against those challengers. So
they don't have
it's a matter of perceived propriety.
So they say like
they will lose their exclusivity.
If your friends are playing on the PlayStation, you have no choice but to buy a PlayStation.
Right. If you and I both get Fallout 76 on PlayStation, and we're wanting to put together a 4-man crew, right?
Right.
So it's the two of us, and then we call up my buddy Dylan. Shout out Cat Snake. What's up, booba? So we call up Dylan and we say, "Dylan, we're playing Fallout 76. Come join our crew." And he says, "Well, I happen to have a PlayStation 4. I'm going to hop on and do that." So he does. And then we're like, "We need one more person." And we call your buddy JJ. And you're like, "JJ, we're playing Fallout 76. We've got 3 guys. We need a 4th. Hop on and play with us." And he's like, "Oh, no. I haven't bought the game yet, but I also have an Xbox.
Yeah.
But I've got some money to burn, so I'm going to go ahead and get a PlayStation and play this game with you guys."
Yeah.
Because weirder things have happened than that. People do that shit.
Oh, yeah. I know of several of them. I've told the stories.
My brother. Well, yeah, you have that buddy who built the computer to play PUBG.
Yeah.
And then my brother, I've seen him have a console that he's been playing on for a year or so, and then all of his buddies get the same game on a different console, so he'll sell that console, buy the one that they're playing on, play that game with them, maybe intercept a few other titles, and then do it all again for the next round whenever they're all on a different system playing a different game.
Yeah.
And there's a perceived exclusivity that PlayStation isn't willing to let go of due to market lead. If 6 months from now the tables are turned and Switch is leading the market, and because of this partnership and this open connectivity that's been established.
You mean Microsoft? That will never happen. Just saying.
Nintendo
will never lead the market again unless they come up with a platform that...
Oh, no, I was being hypothetical.
Okay.
I was being hypothetical.
Microsoft, I think, would be the most likely
Okay,
one.
well then fine. Microsoft is now leading the market. Xbox is back on top. And the Switch has been brought up to a higher ranking as a result of it because they're connected. I mean, once you open that up, those are now kind of considered companion systems.
Yeah.
If you can get on Xbox and play Fortnite, and I can get on Switch and play Fortnite,
awesome.
Then I can call up our buddies. I can call up Nate and say, hey, what are you playing on? And he's like, N64. And I'm gonna be like, then you still fucking suck. And hang up on him and call a useful friend.
Yeah.
But you get what I'm saying? That useful friend can then jump on and play with us.
Well, that's
why PlayStation won't do it.
Well, and
Sony
takes them. It's going to take them losing some of that marketability, or some of that popularity through this. More games come out and do this, and they still leave themselves out. It's going to hurt them in the long run. At this point in the game, it is. I don't think it's as important for them to retain that exclusivity with online play as it is to keep producing these amazing first-party titles.
And that's
what's going to sell your system.
That's the reason I stay in the Sony camp. That's the reason I stay in the PlayStation camp, is because of their exclusives.
Yeah.
You know, I like their operating system as far as like a multimedia interface goes. Also, I feel that I need to clarify before Nate listens to this. He plays PlayStation 4. He has an N64, but he plays PlayStation 4, and he'd be able to jump on and play with us. He was just the first name that came to mind at the time. Sorry, Nate.
Well, you heard about all the backlash of Fortnite in where the PlayStation players wanted to play on the Switch, but they couldn't.
That's what happened to me.
I thought if you go on the website for Fortnite, you can deactivate a platform.
Yeah.
And I thought that I could just deactivate that platform and move my account to another one and just lose all my stuff, because they say you'll lose all your stuff if you do that. So I went ahead and did that. Lost my character, lost all my progress and everything on the PlayStation, which, mind you, wasn't that great, but it was still mine and it was still there. So I did all of that and deactivated it on the Sony network and then reactivated it on the Switch. That didn't work. Like, I was on the Switch trying to sign in, wouldn't sign me in. I'd already told it on the computer that, hey, I want to use this account on the Switch. Wouldn't work.
Just wasn't happening.
It was just, once you activate that account on the PlayStation, it's stuck there forever.
That is the account you've got. And
I had to make a whole new account for my Switch.
And it's just more trouble than it needs to be.
It is, because you have to have a new email. You have to have a different email. You have to have a different username, new password, all that crap. I didn't want to do all that again. But I did. And I'm glad I did.
Did your parents ever carry pagers?
For a brief period of time, yes. Very brief.
I had family members that carried...
I had a pager. When I was in high school, I had a pager. Yeah.
Really?
I had a pager before I had a cell phone.
Well, I had an old pager of my dad's before I had a cell phone. I don't think anybody ever contacted me on it. Mostly I just used it like as a watch. And it had like a voice note feature, like a voice recorder feature that I messed with.
It was comfort
as a digital clock and to remind myself of things.
Mine got used quite a bit. It was just for my mom to be comfortable, because I was driving at the time. She wanted to be able to reach me if she needed to reach me.
Did you wear it on a clip?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Everybody did, man.
That was
a style.
That was just the way, wasn't it?
I was a cool kid to have a pager on my belt clip there.
Yeah, dude. I get that.
With my flannel shirt that was unbuttoned, and you'd have the hugging. What is that? What am I trying to say here? The flap of the shirt would be tucked behind the pager, so you could see that bright green, neon green, see-through pager.
I am so turned on right now.
What do you think about that stuff? It's like, wow.
I got made fun of for carrying a pager, but I also carried peppermints and a menthol sniffer stick in my backpack. And I wore things like flannel, but I would tuck it into my Wranglers and my hiking boots. And
man, I sported the white shirt with the flannel.
Everybody did. Did you have the bleached tips in your hair?
No, I never did that.
Oh, I have yearbook pictures of me smiling with one side of my mouth with my like this. With my bleached tips.
I think it was more style for people with darker hair. My hair was really light when I was younger. It's darker now, but it was a light red when I was a kid.
Yeah, and I wore a necklace that I had a guitar pick that I put a hole in, and then what made a choker necklace out of it,
Nice.
and wore a lot of shirts that said things like "What homework?" or "Don't ask me, my dog did it." Like
Yeah,
shit,
just
those phrase
random-
T-shirts, you
yeah.
know. Yeah,
Where were you going with that? I forgot.
being resistant to change.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where I was going with that.
So, I mean, the thing is, it sucks. I hope they have a change of heart eventually. But for what it's worth, you know, most of my people that I play games with are on the PlayStation, so it really isn't that big a deal to me personally. But I can see it being a big deal to a lot of other people.
Right.
So I hope they have a change of heart.
I hope they do too.
You know, on the subject of Fortnite, I feel like we've been talking about Fortnite a lot here lately.
It's the most popular game in the world.
Thank you. There was an event yesterday that was a kind of map changing event for the world of Fortnite.
I mean, I don't know a lot about it. I got an announcement for it, but I didn't tune in.
So I didn't know anything about it before last night. I was playing Dark Souls Remastered with my buddy Max last night, and he was telling me he's big time into Twitch, man.
When
He
you're
loves watching
playing
Twitch.
with him that game, have you made any remastered jokes yet?
No.
You're welcome. That's my gift to you. There's not jokes to be made. You can make that one, and if the timing is right, he might react about the way you just did.
He may not even notice it, to be honest with you.
Maybe not.
That's a hard one to pronounce in the correct way where somebody over a headset would understand.
Right.
But we were playing, and he was telling me about the Fortnite event that had happened earlier that day. Man, somebody's excited.
They're playing, dude. I have a feeling we're about to get ambushed.
Probably. I'm gonna get this out real quick. But he was telling me about this event that he was watching one of his favorite Twitch streamers stream the event. So what had happened is they launched a rocket up into the sky. First of all, this was a count. Let me start over because it goes beyond that. There was a timer on this rocket in the game, and if you go to this rocket, you see the timer countdown ended at like 12:30 yesterday. So it was an event that everybody knew would only happen once, and it would happen in game on all servers. So you had to be there and present to see it. So everybody would, in that game, they wouldn't kill each other. It was just understood that, hey, we're going to this place to watch this event happen. Nobody kill each other.
That's what I like about it. Yeah.
Everybody gathered, like people for all on this server, on the different servers would gather at this rocket to watch it blast off into the sky to see what was going to happen as a result to the map. So what had happened is the rocket blasted off into the sky, created a piece of it fell off and landed on part of the map, and people have already found it. But it also created this kind of like crack in the atmosphere, really weird, like huge crack, and it changes like the tone of the map. It's darker now, and it's more kind of gloomy, I guess. I don't know. Like it really changes kind of like the appearance of the map, and that is freaking brilliant. And once it happened, it's done. Like the event is done. Now this way the map is going to be until the next big event happens that changes it again.
Right.
So instead of just saying, hey, we're going to change the map up a little bit, change things up a bit, and just, relaunching it, and then people have to download the update and wait for it to be
They just launch an event.
It happens.
That's what's so cool about Fortnite is that they do so many like game altering events and like specials, like when they had Thanos running around.
Yeah. Stuff like that.
And that they have such a community that they can get together and say like, hey, like we're going to go watch this event. Actually, I'm on this Discord Discord room with some buddies of mine. Like I've talked about them before, Ryan and Colby and Jason. And one of them posted a video about, I guess there was a Fortnite event, like a player planned event where they were all meeting up at the diner. And they were all going to meet up together and like no killing each other at the diner. Uh-huh. And there's a video that they posted, and it just shows this 100 players, just like you can hear them coming from across. It's like a stationary camera angle, and you can hear them coming from across the map. And it's just people like just flooding in and like just hanging out. And then they start like interacting inside this like dancing and then interacting with the map inside this diner and everything.
Yeah.
And they're all just piling it. I don't even remember what the purpose was. I have to find the video and show you because it's hysterical.
So cool.
And then you hear one, and then the place just devolves into chaos and bullets and the buildings falling in and people getting zapped out of there because they died. It's hilarious.
That's amazing. That is.
But it just takes that one person to be like, no, I'm gonna go try to kill everybody.
Yeah.
For everybody to
fuck
be
it
like,
up. Yeah.
like, it's just the wheels just completely fell off.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very funny video. I'll have to show it to you. But that's what I like about the community of that game.
That's what makes it so cool. Is like
we've been all over the place with how we feel about that game.
honestly,
for like 12
I went
episodes
from
running.
not liking that game at all to I really love that game, and it's because
I could not talk you into it whenever I was playing it.
No, you couldn't. And it's because I see all the work that Epic is putting into making this like a community thing that's
Right.
not just a game where you go and you play it to death and you wear the damn thing out. They are changing it up and keeping it interesting. And that rocket launch, that is tied to a storyline of the game.
It's going to keep evolving.
Yeah, and people are like so deeply involved into the lore of the story. And I watched a video earlier today where a guy was talking about this rocket launch and what it means to the story and stuff. And it was just like, wow, these are all things that I didn't know was part of this game, that all it's supposed to be is a freaking battle royale deathmatch. That's it. But it's not just
Right.
that.
I mean, who knows where they could be going with it? They've done what at this point? Superheroes.
I'm more into like where they take the evolution of the map. And
Well, yeah. I mean, what if that goes ahead and because they've already got like rocket pack or jetpacks and stuff. Now,
Yeah.
what if that opens up and changes the gravity of the map to where now you've got like buildings and islands floating in the sky
I mean,
that you've
you
got to
can
get
go
to
anywhere you want to. It's
because
really cool.
they're going wherever the fuck they want to, and that's rad. Way to go, Epic.
Yeah.
I know a few
coolest thing to
episodes
me-
back I said that I was on the PUBG camp now, but I'd like to retcon that.
I'm on both. I'm not gonna.
Right,
I'm not gonna choose
they're
one winner.
vastly different games that are both very good.
Yes,
and very
I-
fun.
I would still play PUBG and I would still love the hell out of it.
Yeah.
But right now, at this point, with the accessibility of playing Fortnite on my Switch, I'm on the Fortnite side right now. And
You dropping down on it.
the coolest thing to me though, and I mentioned it before, is how they changed the map within the game and not have to download it into a patch.
That's so cool.
Dude, that is unheard of to me. And when Max was explaining this to me and telling me about how cool he thought it was, I was like, that is actually very interesting. Like,
Yeah.
I had no idea that they could even do that, and they pulled it off, and it made it work, and it's awesome.
And they'll
The fact that
continue
they
to do
can
that.
get the community of people to go to a central point, like you said, and not kill each other is amazing. If you guys are interested in this at all, there are all kinds of videos up on YouTube. Just search for Fortnite rocket launch event and just check out some of those videos. It's really kind of cool.
Oh yeah, there's all kinds of event videos on there anyway.
So, dude,
We've been talking about the Switch a lot tonight.
we have been, and
I had other stuff to talk about the Switch, but we've already talked about the Switch a lot.
we
Unless
have
we're gonna
a-
have a Switch centric episode.
I did have a few things, like a few newsworthy things that I would like to hit on. The NES Classic is back. I don't know if you were interested in getting one of those.
Yeah,
but,
I was.
You can get one. You can walk into any store right now and get one.
Well, because they're not gonna sell out again. The only reason I didn't try to get one the first time around was because I had that brilliantly homebrewed Wii
yeah, oh yeah,
that has that library on it.
I don't know how you got that thing.
I don't know which friend of mine hooked me up with that program, but it still gets use.
Well, the thing is with the NES Classic is they brought it back, but they brought it back in enough numbers that everybody who didn't get one the first time around pretty much has got one now.
Same price point.
Same price point, nothing's changed. I actually picked up an extra controller because I couldn't get an extra controller, so I was able to get one of those pretty easily. The controllers are still harder to get than the consoles are, but my buddy Max, again, he was able to get one. He missed out on the first time around. I'm seeing on Twitter and Facebook constantly everybody who wanted one finally got one, and
I'll probably end up copying one. I think I'm going to try to start collecting the whole like mini re-release.
they're so cool,
Collection.
man. And they're affordable.
I just think it's neat. I think I've said it almost every episode. I just want them to do an N64 mini.
It's coming.
It's all
It's
I want.
coming. It's got to be.
Like-
Like, I want one too. I really do.
You know how hard I've been trying to find N64 games.
Yeah.
And if I could just get an N64 mini and kind of whet that appetite, you know, I think it'd be fine.
Those things would get expensive though, because most people are going to want 4 controllers to play those games on. So they've got to release, and they've got to be full size.
So the whole library is just digital on these, right?
Yeah,
I say that like a fucking old man. This is just all computer pictures, right?
that's the Super Nintendo Classic. The NES Classic is sitting over there. They're just cool to look at, man.
Right.
They're just little tiny. That one's all plugged in. I don't know if you can grab it.
I'm not gonna grab it.
The
No, you
The coolest
grab it once
factor-
it's already plugged in. Am I right?
so that one is modded. Both of these are modded. I've got like a couple hundred Super Nintendo games on that one, and same thing on the NES Classic. So
See, it's just so cool.
I've retired my actual consoles. I used to have them hooked up to that TV right there, and played the games on that all the time. But since I got this little classic, I just assumed put it away in a box and pull it out later when I
Right.
want to. So yeah, the things are cool, and I'm super happy that everybody can get one now. It's awesome
Yeah.
that they finally did this. It took long enough, but they did it.
Maybe someone will buy me one for Christmas.
Maybe you should put a little birdie in someone's ear.
Yeah. I imagined shoving my daughter into someone's ear because we call her Bird.
Oh man.
So I had 3 other things I wanted to talk about, but I know that we'd end up going way too far into each of them. So I'll give you your pick.
Okay.
I'll just say this because it's noteworthy and we don't have to talk about it. I'm just excited. Wolfenstein for Switch is
That's
out.
awesome. I would love to give it a try.
I entered us into a giveaway for that using
cool.
the Jab account
Nice.
for a custom Switch and the game. And if we win, I'll let you borrow it.
All right, fair enough. You entered it. That's only fair.
Do we want to talk about another Switch hack?
Sure. What is it? I didn't know they
Well-
hacked the Switch again. Oh well.
This
I knew
one-
there was some things bouncing
This
around.
one's a big one. Like they found a complete, basically like a security overhaul system. But I'm not gonna go into the I read about how it's done, and I was like, oh, I should. And I was like, no, I'm not gonna do this.
What does the hack allow you to do?
Basically, use the Switch as a fully functioning system. Like it's allowing them to run Linux on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so Switch users are doing things like uploading pornographic images into their avatars and then playing the Mario Balloons game on the Mario.
Oh man.
Like-
See, that's not right.
Right. And so like the hack got found out, I guess last week whenever people started reporting like their kids playing this Mario game
Yeah.
and then finding these decorative balloons floating about.
Now I'm gonna have to play some Mario Kart. Find these balloons.
See if you can find some weenie balloons.
That is
Yeah, dude.
wrong, man. Okay, if you're gonna hack a system to play old games and stuff, whatever, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. When you're hacking a system to play current games that are coming out, that's where I have an issue. You are taking away from the pockets of these developers who are creating these
Right.
games, and I do not support that. I also don't support creating a hack that on a game that a lot of
Yes.
kids are going to play and putting pornography. That's not cool.
Right.
That's not cool.
And I mean, this particular hack is opened the floodgates to piracy of the current Switch library.
Yeah.
And
I don't
it's
like
an
that.
oddly simple hack too. I've read several spots online that have published exactly how to run it and how to run an impermanent version of the hack that basically erases and goes back to factory when you shut the system down.
Mm.
But still, it involves physically altering part of the system.
Oh, okay.
To
So
work.
like soldering or something?
No, you have to break part of the system.
Wow.
I feel like there's probably like legal ramifications if somebody listened to this show and heard me explaining how to hack
we'll-
the Switch.
We'll keep the details to limited, but I mean,
Right,
yeah.
but Nintendo's now talking about the next wave of Switches being released, having this new basic like a build, a difference
Yeah.
in build that would inhibit people from this particular hack.
Well, I would assume it's probably getting close to time that Nintendo would release a new form of the system anyway.
Well,
They always
yeah.
release like different iterations of their consoles, you know.
Right, and it's about time for them. If nothing else, it's about time for them to release one that has stronger clips for the Joy-Cons.
Are yours getting loose?
Oh, I have to like hold them in place while I'm playing. They come off without pushing the
Really?
button.
Oh
Yeah.
man, I don't have that issue at all. That's really weird.
Well, it's because I play video games more than you.
Well, I got a hold of some new Joy-Cons, some really fancy pink and green Joy-Cons.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, so
That's
the
rad.
other day, Walmart put
Those are Splatoon, right?
the Splatoon ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, they put their Joy-Cons on sale for $25
Why don't you let me know when these things happen?
because I went to 3 different Walmarts before I found one.
Adrian gets out and he finds these good deals, or he'll like go to garage sales or what the fuck ever, and he'll like find all this shit, like cool shit, like Joy-Cons at a deeply discounted price, or like a whole barrel full of N64 games, or you know whatever, dusty old consoles, or fucking arcade games for 50 cents, like arcade cabinets. And then he sends me a picture, all fucking cavalier, like, "Hey dude, look what I found." And I'm like, you know who might would have been on your mind while you're out there getting these awesome things is me. And like, hey, need me to fucking look for anything? But no.
I should have, and I'm sorry. I should have called you because you could have. But honestly, I didn't think you would be able to get one. I didn't think I would be able to get one.
I should have. The only way you can fix this is to
let you know next time.
I guess to let me know next time.
I
I was gonna make you do something dirty, but
I'm not doing anything dirty. I'll just I'll keep my information to myself next time. No, the Joy-Cons, they're regularly like $70-$80.
no, I know
They're
that's
stupid
that's
expensive.
why I got mad just now, because I need some Joy-Cons.
Well, I mean, this is why I went on a trek.
and you
I went
held
to-
out on your boy.
I drove to 3 different Walmarts, and finally the last one that I was able to find one at was in Guthrie, but I was already in OKC, so I had to drive all the way to Guthrie from OKC. So I spent probably a good couple hours Friday night trying to find one, but I did get one, and I'm happy. It's super nice to have one. But sorry, next time I will let you know of this.
Well, it's all right. I'm not.
I did
actually
also
mad.
find a.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
I found a Game Gear.
Yeah,
Going on
remember
things
when
that
I
we
was
find.
Literally just talking about
Yeah.
you finding cool things and then sending me a picture like it's not a big deal. When I send you pictures of cool things I found, you're usually like, "That's not worth it at that price." It probably doesn't even work.
Honestly, dude, the thing is, I have a lot of fun.
It's like you spend.
It's treasure
like you
hunting.
sit at
I'm
home
like
waiting to be
a
better
video
than
game.
me.
I'm a video game pirate. I don't
You are.
pirate games, but I love to find great deals on games.
Yeah.
And this one,
That's such a cool find.
actually, I got 2 of them. This one doesn't work. The other one does. The
What are you gonna do with this one? Just leave it as a showpiece?
no, I'm gonna fix it.
You're gonna fix it?
Yeah, I'm gonna solder on some
If you
capacitors.
can't get it to work, you should turn it into something.
No, I'm gonna make it work.
It previously belonged to Frankie Joe
Yeah,
Miller.
that's a thing. He like carved his name into the console.
Frankie Joe Miller. Hey, you're not listening, but thanks for the Game Gear,
Thank you, sir, kid.
Frankie Joe Miller.
But the short story on how I acquired this, I'm a garage sailor. I'll go garage sale hunting for games every Saturday when I can. There was a garage sale listed on Craigslist that said video games, and this was listed like Tuesday.
Yeah.
Usually when somebody puts video games on their listing that early in the week, somebody is already contacting them for those video games, and by the time they actually have their garage sale, it's already gone.
Right.
So it opened at like 7:30 Saturday morning, and I just, it wasn't too far from my house. I was like, I'm just gonna go ahead and give it a shot anyway. Drove over there, was looking around. She didn't have any games out at all. Like, she had some Wii crap that nobody wants.
Right.
And so I was like, she's like, well, are you looking for anything in particular? I was like, yeah, the listing said you had video games, so I came here to find those. So she goes, oh yeah, she just completely forgot to put them out. And she goes back.
Hell yeah, she did.
She goes into her garage, pulls out and brings it out. And she goes, yeah, I've got this old Game Gear system. And I was, what? I lit up. I don't have a Game Gear yet. That's one of the few consoles I didn't
Went
have.
from 6 to Newton real quick.
So she brought that out, and then she brought out a bag with she had like Zelda collection on the GameCube. She had Mario Galaxy and a few DS games that were pretty decent games. The DS games didn't have any cartridges. It was just the cases. So missed out on that. But I did buy the 2 games, and I bought the Game Gear. The Game Gear came with like 5 games as well.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So I took them both home and messed with them, cleaned them up, tried to get them working because they didn't work at first. I had to like really kind of mess with cleaning them up. The power button wasn't working at all on one of them. I'm going to break it even further. But yeah, I got them to work, and they work great. And I also ended up with a Xbox headset.
Yeah.
Brand new inbox. She said it never been used, and I was like, okay, I'll take it. Brought it home, and I used it last night actually to play Dark Souls. It works great.
That's
I
awesome.
spent a grand total of like $15 for all that stuff. So,
Man,
I lucked out. That I don't usually get good deals at garage sales, but I've hit 2 really good ones over the past several weeks, I'd say.
Some people just walk in the light.
Dude, it just takes persistence. That's all it is. If you guys are into finding good deals and stuff, be persistent about it. You'll get it eventually. But man, I don't have anything else to talk about. What do you have? Nothing?
I mean, a couple news topics that we would end up talking too long about.
We can we can touch on them. What you got?
Amazon Italy accidentally leaked a price and release date for Bloodborne 2 and Sunset Overdrive 2.
Oh wow. That's
Yeah.
interesting. Bloodborne 2 hasn't even been announced yet.
That's the craziest thing.
Both of those games haven't been announced yet.
Those Italians, man. Amazon Italy has like a track record of accidentally releasing shit like that.
Are they true though? Do they usually end up happening?
It's kind of mixed.
Okay.
Those generally the stuff that they accidentally leak ends up happening just at a different price point and a different date.
Yeah. What event would they announce those at, do you think? It would have to be something relatively soon, I would assume.
Or maybe not. I mean, you got to think a worldwide online market. Like they might start creating like those online batches and stuff because they've got to come across their actual like shipping numbers.
Yeah.
Their complete global logistics is behind all that, like the boring business numbers and shit, all the way down to the individual UPC codes of each inventory item.
Yeah.
So you got to think like if they were going to announce Bloodborne 2 next year at E3 for a 2020 release date, they might already be putting some of those wheels in motion as far as
Well, we have
placement goes.
We have a few more events happening this year where they could potentially announce those.
They totally could.
We have the Japanese Gaming Expo, the big one. I can't recall the name of it. I'm drawing a blank, but that one's coming up.
E3 isn't going to be the be all end all of all of that stuff.
The Japanese one is usually happens in the fall, right around the fall. And then after that, you have the PlayStation event. That happens in December.
And
they
maybe,
could announce it then, or the Video Game
Awards. Video Game Awards could be it. I mean,
they announced one of the Dark Souls or Bloodborne's at a Video Game Awards. So
and they could just announce it like online. They could just make an announcement.
Or that.
Not that that's real likely, but they could.
I don't think they would because Bloodborne 2 specifically is a big one.
That's going to be a big one.
Yeah.
But
that's cool. I hope they're right, man. Everybody wants those games.
It's interesting.
Sunset Overdrive, maybe not so much. That was a good game. It was a really good game. But Bloodborne 2, man, it needs to happen. It needs to happen.
It absolutely does. It's probably a good note to end it on. I've got to pee so bad I can hardly concentrate right now.
All right.
I'm just going to be honest.
So where can they find us? Tell us where they can find us first.
World Wide Web.
How bad do you have to pee?
So bad.
Tell us where they can find us.
How
bad do you have to pee?
You ever have to pee so bad you start to get cold?
Yes.
It's because all the blood in your body is going to protect your bladder.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Thanks for that science.
I hope it's true. I hope that was a science fact. worldwideweb.jabgcast.com.
That's right. You can find all of our social media accounts there, as well as the multiple platforms that we put the show out on. So guys, thanks for listening to the show. Episode 29 is a wrap, and we will see you next time.
See you later, crocodile.